So, welcome back. Today, I have another special guest for you. It is Onelly Hernandez from AIP Conmigo, and I'm so excited to have her here with us to share her journey. Welcome, Onelly.
Thanks. I'm super excited to be here.
So, tell me a little bit about yourself. Tell me, you have autoimmune disease, right? And what you do in this world and all of that.
Yeah, so I have three autoimmune disease. I have Hashimoto's, Raynaud's, and IBS. Aside from ADHD, but it's not autoimmune disease. So yeah, and then coming into this world of health coaching has helped me a lot with managing my autoimmune diseases, right? Because it's not easy getting there, getting that diagnosis, and then trying to fix it and get better, feel like yourself again. It's not, possible for too many people because they think that once they got diagnosed, it's the end of the world and I'm gonna die or something like that. But no, there is things that we can do in order to feel much better and be back to be our own self again.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
And you said you have a little bit of a unique history in that. Well, it's not really unique per se because we all seem to have struggled with it, but like your doctors kind of ignored you for a while and you had a harder time getting a diagnosis. And you think a lot of it was also because of your Spanish speaking and
Yes, that is true. Because most of the time, doctors, when we are minority, either Americans or Hispanic or Asian or from whatever the world you are, that you're now American, they dismiss your symptoms most of the time because sometimes with Hashimoto's, the thing is that most symptoms can be something else, can be depression, can be low iron, vitamin D deficiency, and they don't know, and then just like, yeah, it's just a normal part of being a mom. That's what my doctor told me. And I thought she was going to be different because she was an Indian doctor, Indian descent or whatever. I don't know if she was born here or over there in India, and she was a woman, my color almost, but and I thought the treatment was gonna be different, like the way that she was gonna treat me. But now she still dismissed me, and I have to press on, like I need to get my diagnosis because I know I have some of the symptoms because I was struggling too much with being tired all the time, snapping and yelling at my kids, my husband. My husband has Hashimoto's too. And that's how I figure like some of the symptoms I was struggling with was the same as him, a little bit different because male and female with Hashimoto's, it's not going to be the same. Yeah, she totally dismissed me. I have to press, please check for my thyroid antibodies because my TSH level were normal, within normal range. Like they always say, your labs are normal, you're totally fine. But why do I feel like shit? Why do I feel so bad all the time? Why I'm so tired? Why do I don't want to get up in the mornings? And this was when the pandemic hit, when I was experiencing all of the symptoms. I already had my health coaching certificate from the Primal Health Coach Institute, so I knew a little bit, but still I didn't know a lot. Getting that diagnosis was like, okay, finally now I know I can name what I have right now, and I know what things I can do to get better because I already was a health coach, but I needed to get deeper into what other things I could do to feel better. And that's when I found the AIP certification, and I took that in along with working with a functional practitioner too. So did some tests and all of this stuff, and turned out now I had SIBO too. I had some hormonal imbalances, and I work with that practitioner, create a plan so I can feel much better because even though I was a health coach, I didn't know all the answers, right? Because we don't know everything. We have to seek extra support and more help. So yeah, it was challenging. And I tell all my clients, don't let the doctor, because I know they're just gonna say, they're gonna test for TSH and that's that. And then if that's within normal ranges, like mine was, you don't have Hashimoto's, you're fine. But you will not know until you test for the thyroid antibodies and the other stuff. So yeah. So you just gotta press and push your doctors and learn to advocate for yourself, because most of the time they're just quick. It's just like, yeah, next patient, bye, you're fine, take this pill. There's no pill for this. Okay, let's figure it out. I don't know what's going on with you, but yeah, there's no pill for it, so therefore I cannot help you.
Yep.
I don't know if
Symptom
you have the
management.
same experience too.
Yeah. So what did you do then? Like, you took the AIP certification. Did you do the AIP diet at that same time, or what was
I
your timeline for that?
So when I did the AIP diet before I took the certification. I was working with my functional practitioner when I got diagnosed in 2020. And then I started doing it, and I said, okay, I know I can help other people like me. And there's not a lot of Latinas out there saying, I have Hashimoto's. Like, there's nobody saying that. And then we need more, I need to help more of my people. And that's why I decided to take the certification. And ever since, it's been life changing for me.
I agree. There's so many people that ask for Spanish translations of my videos. So I think it's definitely the education and just the support that the
Yes.
Latina community needs that is not currently there other than what you do. So it's
Yeah.
really helpful. And let's just go back a little bit to the AIP. When you started it, did it make a big difference for you?
When I started it in 2020, I noticed after, like, within a few weeks, I started noticing some changes. I was feeling a little bit more better. I had a little bit more energy. At the beginning, it was challenging because it's too restrictive, and I did it cold turkey. The elimination phase is big challenge, but I managed to do it. I said, I need to do this because otherwise I'm not gonna get better. I know my doctor's not gonna help at all, because if I didn't push, she didn't do anything. It was challenging, but most of the time the foods for AIP are Dominican foods. The green plantains, the yellow plantains, the cassava or yuca, all these root vegetables I grew up eating back in the Dominican Republic, so it wasn't as hard for me to change and find ways. The only thing was the eggs, because I was so used to having eggs for breakfast. Once I went through that, it felt much better. I felt much better. I had to stay a little bit longer because of the SIBO. So I did the elimination phase for about 4 months and a half, just because of the SIBO. Otherwise, I will have been done it for like 30 days. And then after that, I started transitioning, eating some other foods, and it's been working fine. Now I'm more of a eating paleo-ish, a little bit low carb. If you are new to starting AIP, it's gonna be a big challenge, and you're gonna feel like, what the heck am I gonna eat? No eggs, no coffee, not chocolate. What are you taking everything away from me? What am I gonna be eating for breakfast? People don't know. So what I did was kind of like look at things. What can I do? What can I have? And some things were some recipes that they were like similar to, I grew up eating oatmeal for breakfast, or we call it farina, like I think what it's called in English.
Like grits? Something like that?
Kind of like grits, but it's like
Mm.
softer.
Mm-hmm.
Cornstarch,
Mm-hmm.
cornstarch. So we make it with milk and stuff. So I grew up eating kind of that for breakfast. So I discovered that with the Japanese sweet potatoes, the kind of like purplish one outside and then a little bit different in the inside. So they're called Japanese sweet potatoes. Those with coconut milk and then a little bit of maple syrup and some cinnamon. It's just like having that. It's just like having cornstarch, what I have for breakfast with milk or grits or oats or whatever. It tasted even better, even better. So yeah,
Isn't
I
it
got,
funny how you find meals that you actually think taste even better? You go into this diet thinking that your life's over, you're never going to be able to eat anything you want again. And the next thing you know, you have new meals that you never would have tried. And now they're your favorites.
yes, yeah, that one is my favorite one because it tastes a little bit like we call in the Dominican Republic habichuela con dulce. So it's like sweet beans. So we make them with those Japanese sweet potatoes and some coconut milk and some carnation milk and stuff, and we make it sweeten, and it's so good. It's like a dessert that we have for Holy Week. When it's Holy Week, they only make it around that time, and it's that other kind of recipe that I said, it tastes the same way as the habichuela con dulces. It's so delicious and bring back memories to me.
So when you did AIP, did you do it by yourself or did your family join you? You have two boys, right?
Yeah, I have two boys and my daughter that she's 9, my husband. So I did it all by myself. Nobody joined. My husband didn't want to join. Like, I worked too hard to be eating like this. Oh my God. Yeah, because men are different beasts. They like to eat a lot and then he wouldn't. Yeah, no. It was too hard for him. He couldn't do it. So, but at least I tried some recipes he did try. He liked some of the stuff that I did for dinner. To me, as much different from what I was eating because some of the foods that I cooked were almost the same. Like maybe the steak will be the same, but then I'll make some rice for them or something else, you know. But it wasn't that. It was a little bit challenging, but it wasn't as bad. And I did it all by myself.
Yeah, I feel like that's one of the best ways to go about it is make one protein and then make side dishes for everybody. That seems to appease everybody. That way you don't have to make two completely separate meals or anything like that. That's definitely one of the ways to do it. Yeah.
Yes, yeah. And it helped in the summer because I grill a lot. So I just season the steak, chicken, or anything, and then throw it in the grill, some vegetables for me, and then the rest was for them. But yeah, it does help when you just focus on, okay, what is the protein we're gonna eat? Everybody's gonna eat, and then okay, side dishes. It is more easy that way.
So other than diet stuff, was there anything else that you used as like a healing modality, mindset wise or lifestyle wise, that helped you?
Yes, I did a lot of journaling, going through, writing down every morning what I was going through, keeping track of everything. I bought like a nice purple, nice notebook, and I was writing everything what I was eating, everything what I was going through, how I felt that day, and all of that stuff, because it did help after you see the transformation where you're coming from, like the beginning, you start reading back those pages, you're gonna see like, oh my God, I came so far. Because sometimes we just think that we didn't do enough or we didn't do anything at all. And then once you start reading back those pages, you're gonna see that in fact you did a lot. So I did that. I did some grounding. So outside when it was summertime, because when I got diagnosed, it was summer 2020. So around those times, I did grounding. So we had a kind of like a hammock that we put on the backyard. And I went outside barefoot and sit down there and just think through things, and just that helps a lot, the grounding. and you feel much better and energized at the end. Listening to affirmations did help me a lot in the mornings, because you just think like, oh my God, this is so hard. Life is so hard. The kids are bugging me today too much. Like, oh my God, how am I going to go through this day? So listening to those affirmations, I just found like affirmations for healing or something on YouTube, and just play it back, and listen to that. That helped a lot, a lot, a lot. Because it's not just the doing, changing the diet. You need to start reframing your brain and saying, okay, I'm gonna do this. This is for my own good. Writing your why. Why are you doing this? Do I want to go back again to being the way I was, or do I want to keep moving forward and feeling much better? So yeah, it's really helpful if people use the journaling or doing some of that stuff. Meditation too helps. Those were like my to-go ones.
Yeah. All very extremely helpful, I think, for sure.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This has been great. If you had any sort of advice for someone that's newly diagnosed or really kind of struggling with this, maybe like in that situation which you mentioned in the beginning where their doctor maybe isn't getting them the information that they need, what would you say to them?
So if they're like pushing to get that diagnosed, I suggest that maybe just like I heard one time, I don't know if you were familiar with Dr. Canberry. So he said once, like, if your doctors are not doing this lab test, just tell them, put it in my file, in my notes there. So that way, if I go out and buy a out of pocket full thyroid panel that you can get at either Paloma Health or Let's Get Checked online, and comes to your home and you do those tests, that way, and then if he had it on his file, I said, I told you so that I needed to get these things done. You refuse to do that. So then now you have this proof to back it up, because you went outside and bought those lab works and stuff like that. So push, learn, advocate for yourself. There's websites you can go to thepaleomom.com. You can go to my website too, find some information there, Michele's website too, and find information in there. Google everything, because you can find some places where you can get answers about your diagnosis, or trying to get a diagnosis. And don't think that once you get it, it's the end of the world. It's not. You're gonna feel much better, and it's just something that happened. There's things that we can do to feel much better and be better and feel like ourselves again. And that way we don't have to be like, oh my God, it's the end of the world. No, it's not.
Yes. I want to stress that it
Yeah.
does feel like it's the end of the world, that everything's ending, that you have no idea what's going on. There's fear, but you have so much power over everything.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
And if that doctor doesn't want to do it, find another doctor. I find that doctor that diagnosed me, and I went find another one. And then and I have another one, and keep looking until you find one, and just keep pushing to get a full thyroid panel. Doctors don't know what a full thyroid panel is. So you need to write down and bring it into your doctors and tell them, a full thyroid panel is a TSH, T3, T4, total T3, total T4, free T3 and free T4, and the thyroid antibodies. And that way, at least you'll have a bigger picture of the puzzle and what's going on with your body. And that will give you answers. Because like I said, my TSH was normal, but my antibodies were through the roof. So now they're lower. They're lower than when they were before. But and if you stress a lot too, that will bring them up too. So you have to be like really careful what you're doing, and just learn to advocate for yourself and find the right doctor. And there's always somebody that can help you with that too.
Wise advice.
Yes.
Well, thank you so much for joining me. I really appreciate this. Where can people find you?
So you guys can find me on social media. I am on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and YouTube. And it's AIP Conmigo. So that is my handle for those social media. And then you can find me on my website, aipconmigo.com, where I have a blog and I post there about Hashimoto's and anything about AIP, paleo, and just living with this condition as from the perspective of being a Latina, because it's totally different for somebody. It will be related, but then again, different cultures and stuff. But yeah, you can find me over there.
Great. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
Okay. I'll see you guys next time.